taking an audition. I put together this book. It's got 41 excerpts. So these next 5 weeks are going to be working on that. Why am I doing this? For content. Also, recording yourself is the best way to practice and be accountable. I also plan to take notes in this little notebook. So I'm going to record myself practicing every day and do a little bit of reflection every day. And I think I'll try and do a weekly wrap-up and have those be the videos. So it'll be like a 5-part series, 1 week at a time of audition prep. That's it. Alright, now it's 9:10. Let's go over what we did today. First thing I practiced today was West Side Story. The vibraphone part only. I was basically just learning the notes and deciding what stickings I want to use, which is still up in the air. And I tried my hand at pedaling. My friend later told me that he doesn't do any pedaling except for like 2 notes, which I'm not too sure about. At around 12:45, I practiced Bach for about 45 minutes. It's the Gavotte en Rondeau in E major. I was practicing it so that I could play it for my friend Hannah. She's a violinist and they know better about Bach versus a percussionist. I also listened to her mock audition. She's taking an audition in 1 week. That'll be me in 4 weeks. Some things she said about my Bach playing. I could use more dynamic range, mostly on the louder side. The ornaments are nice. They should be. I stole them from Rachel Podger. The 16th notes are not always rhythmically even, so I'm gonna work on that for sure. And I'm gonna think of longer phrases. Alright, and then I did a whole lot of not much, just bumming around life things. I folded my laundry, and then at 8 p.m. I practiced some xylophone excerpts. I had intended to just warm up with Appalachian Spring because you use both hands in that one very equally. But I ended up just running through each of them a little bit. Stuff that I focused on included the shifting in Appalachian Spring, trying to sing and play Porgy at the same time. The grace notes and Herianos, of course, essential. And I tried to learn the notes of Les Noches by Stravinsky. That's kind of a wacky one. From 8:45 to 9-ish, I worked on Gavotte en Rondeau again. I worked on getting the ornamentation cleaner, just so that they sound like they're really easy. I remembered to try and play loud, and I tried to stay loud for longer so that the phrasing seems longer. Because if there's a lot of up and down, it doesn't flow as nicely as if there's less bumps. You know what I mean? And I worked on the fancy little run at the end as well. Yep, that was week 1, day 1. See you tomorrow. So I started the day off with a snare drum. I did some warming up and I practiced the Delacluze. In the Delacluze, I was mainly focused on improving my timing. I think my rhythmic integrity got better, which is good. Later I practiced some more vibraphone. Still gotta learn those notes in West Side Story. I was trying to decide between doubles or singles for this run. I'm still not too sure about it, and I did that in a different room as well. I was playing along to this recording on Spotify, and it was like a really weird swing / not swing. It was either the weirdest swing ever, or they were just swinging badly, or it wasn't swung, because it felt really weird to play along to it. Anyways, later on, I decided to finally practice bass drum. This is probably my least practiced instrument, and I'm not even sure why. I feel annoyed practicing it sometimes. Like, what am I supposed to do? I hit the bass drum and it goes guh. But I was working on Rite of Spring. Just trying it, basically. I don't really know what's going on. And I realized that I didn't have good mallets to play it with. I was using these timpani mallets. I really need to find some hard bass drum mallets. For the tremolo, I think I've decided on playing 5 notes. Apparently you can do 4, but I'd rather play 5 and just have it be a bit more filled out. I also worked on Tchaikovsky 4. This is the finale. I don't really know this either, but it's pretty straightforward. Just play in time and play the notes in the right spots. There's a crescendo here, but I don't know if everyone does it. I'll keep experimenting with that. Playing the same thing with cymbals is like, oh. It was pretty tough physically, I would say. I also realized that I don't have like the perfect cymbals for this. These big 20-inch Ks are really nice, but they're a bit heavy, especially for playing so many notes so fast. L'histoire du soldat? Come on, Stravinsky, what's wrong with you? Yeah, so in this one there's weird counting. I have to figure out what mallets I'm gonna use, and I do feel like the bass drum should use something woofier than what I'm using for the toms and snare drums, but that might also involve stick flipping, and I'm not too sure how well that would actually go. So more on that later. Around dinner time, I decided to listen to West Side Story, to listen to the tom-tom drum set thing excerpts, as well as the vibraphone excerpts again. The last thing I practiced today was triangle. So the Carmen excerpt, real soft, just real soft and delicate. I think I'm gonna play 6 notes per roll. It's good to decide how many notes you're gonna play in a roll, because it gives you a plan, rather than just moving your hand and hoping for the best. It's not really a consistent way to go. Scheherazade Triangle. I've never played or looked at this stuff before. The movement 2 one I really like. It's like all delicate and nice, and then you go ba, and that's I enjoy that contrast. Yeah. Movement 4 is quite involved. I don't know if people set up the triangle and play with 2 hands, but it seems too annoying to do that. I'm gonna try and do it with 1 hand if I can. For that one, I just kind of practice the rhythm, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna stick the up and downs. We'll figure that out. And that wraps up week 1, day 2. See you tomorrow. I was eating breakfast today and thinking about some things. Why would someone watch this video? To learn about audition prep? Am I teaching anything about audition prep? I don't think so, but maybe I could be. To follow my progress, maybe? Like, I don't know what's interesting about this video. It's a beautiful day outside and I'm editing this video right now, so like and subscribe. Starting off with some soft cymbal practice. Working on that Rachmaninoff 2. So these are some big ass cymbals. It's like the hammered Constantinople, very nice dark sound. But they also feel like 2 trash can lids in the hand to play, which is rough, you know. Worked on some West Side Story vibraphone again. I think for the first excerpt, I'm definitely not gonna play doubles. And what I have to do is listen to that part of the piece a lot more. So that I can play the rubato as it's actually done, because I was just guessing most of the time. In the cool excerpt, I got to around 140 BPM. I keep accenting the B flat. I need to not do that. When I was practicing it, I thought the pedaling was okay, but later today I ended up doing less. And in the last vibraphone excerpt, I'm still not sure about the pedaling at this point. And I found something really nice for the grace note, a semi-dead stroke with my left hand. I know, it's so cool, right? So it's kind of like a dead stroke, but you don't press into it. It has a little bit more tone. And it also doesn't keep ringing because I leave the mallet on. In the early afternoon, working on that L'Histoire du Soldat. Pardon my French, please. So I actually printed the page of the James Blade edition of the percussion part that tells you what mallets to use. I don't have any double-sided mallets that would be perfect for this, so I'm probably going to be holding 2 sticks in one of my hands at all times. In the ragtime, there's mezzo forte, and then there's mezzo forte with an accent, and then there's forte, and there's forte with an accent, and there's also piano. So I guess it should go piano quietest, and then mezzo forte accent, and then forte accent can be the really whack one. Devil's March. I'm not sure that I want to play the bass drum with a bass drum mallet all the time, although that's what I did today. It is also possible that in the more drummy bits, it would make sense for the bass drum to sound less like a bass drum and more like a tom, or more like a part of this multi-setup instead of the bass drum in a drum set, for example. I don't know, details are hard. Okay, the last thing I practiced at work was some glockenspiel. Because I don't have one at home, so I have to practice it at work. Sorcerer's Apprentice, I am really rusty on this. So, yep, that's me trying to remember how it goes. For the Magic Flute, I'll dig into that a bit more, maybe tomorrow. Pines of Rome. There's a lot of this that I actually don't know, because the most common bit is just the beginning and the end of this first movement. So all the middle I haven't learned at all. It was really fun to go through that today. This is my sticking for the run here. This is like something that always needs practicing. I was also playing quite a lot of flams in it. I worked on that too. Later at home, tambourine, chabrier. España. Oh, I think I hit a bit of a breakthrough, and that is using my fist for the accents, but not using my fist for the regular notes, so that the accents really pop out. This especially works because the triplet I have to play against my leg, and it already is like a little bit muddy sounding just because of that. So if I get my fist in there, it just gives a little bit more pop. I like where that's going. So good job, me. And then the last thing I practiced today was just some marimba, like gavotte on rondo, some note accuracy things, and just generally practicing it. Yeah, this one's like a slow burn, you know? Practice it a little bit every day, and I'm gonna get all the notes right, because I have played it before, and I generally know what I want to do with it. It's just a matter of dialing it in. All right, so today was overall a pretty good day. Oh, I also did practice vibes in the evening. Instead of pedaling with the written slurs, I'm pedaling where the notes should be long. That's my philosophy at the moment. It could change tomorrow. It literally has changed every day so far. So look forward to what it is tomorrow. 4.5 hours. I practiced 4.5 hours today. So pretty good. I'm happy with how much I practiced today, and the quality of practice was quite decent, if I say so myself. This was week 1, day 3. See you tomorrow. Yes, I am sitting on the floor. So here's what I did today, September 29th. Started the day off with some soft cymbal crashes. I think I'm gonna commit to bringing these 20-inchers to the audition, so I'm getting used to them now. I spent about 15 minutes working on Magic Flute. A lot of it was just marking the part so that I remember what I want to do. Before lunch, I practiced some Delacluze 1, trying to play in time. So I recorded myself, and then I listened back to it, and I found out that I was slowing down in certain parts. In the early afternoon, I worked on some vibraphone with Scott and Mateen, the other percussionists in the central band. We were just talking about West Side Story because Scott is a bit of a jazzer, and me and Mateen are not at all. Basically, I found out that I pedal too much, and I could get better at half pedaling if I want to do any pedaling at all. So I spent some time trying to do that. And then I went home, and that was my day. Overall, not exactly the most productive day. Once I got home, I was feeling pretty tired, but that's okay. This was the end of week 1, day 4, and I will see you tomorrow. The first thing I practiced today was xylophone in the basement. Started with some scale warm-up, and then I worked on the run in Schumann 3. What I found actually helpful for this was standing in different spots while practicing the tricky spots in the run. This run is like so dumb. It's literally just a pentatonic scale. But I'm having a hard time playing the right notes. I looked at the West Side Story drum set part. It's kind of weird. I also worked on some soft snare drum. There's a roll at the end of key G. I never really paid attention to how long or short it should be because I didn't learn that half of the excerpt. But I did some listening, and it's just the same as the, I think, trumpet intro. So I'll just be singing that in my head when I play the roll now. And then I also did run through the other snare drum stuff just for fun. Out of those, Schumann 3 snare drum needs the most work, for sure. And then I had went into work to try and get a workout in, and then eat dinner, and then practice, which was going all according to plan. And then after I got out of my workout, I realized that the cadets were in the band room, and they had that booked, so I couldn't practice, so I just came home. I ended the day with some marimba. Working on gavotte on rondo, of course, just on note accuracy and timing. Oh, okay, so I practiced close to 3 hours today. That's pretty good. More than I had thought, actually. The xylophone practice was quite good in quality. The drum set stuff, kind of meh. Snare drum stuff was kind of meh. Marimba, pretty good. Oh, I realized that I could do a different sticking for the digada. I can do a different, easier sticking. It's the end of day 5. See you tomorrow. So I wasn't recording. I'll start over. We started the day off with some warm-up on xylophone, double stops, and the swangin' parts of Schumann 3. Then I dedicated some time to learn Les Noces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I pretty much memorized the beginning, like the weird 5 and 6, and counting and playing the right notes. And like a musical decision that I made was I'm gonna do downstrokes on these weird accents. And then up-centric full strokes on the other accents, the normal accents. Worked on that for a while, brought it up to like 110-ish. The only parts that are hard right now are the 2 longer 16th note runs and then dropping down to the low C. Worked on Harianos grace notes and tempo. With those, I decided to use different mallets, and that helped a lot, actually. I've got these Mallet Magic rosewood mallets that I got from Jonathan Singer, Third Floor Percussion Bazaar. It makes the grace notes feel like easy mode compared to what I was using before, which were some like freer K10 or whatever. Worked on some marimba, gavotte on rondo, playing some notes, you know? I had an Exotic Birds refresher. It's been a while since I played it, so I was pretty much just dusting it off. And it turns out that I actually had learned a rhythm wrong. Alright, here's what I was playing before. Here's what it should be. So I fixed that, and then I finished the day off with some tambourine and triangle. So we worked on Carmen. I was trying to decide if I like using my fingers or my fist for the opening of Carmen. I think I like the fingers better. I'm just not that good at smacking the tambourine with my fist. But using all 5 fingers is very satisfying, and it's easier to transition to the claw. This to this versus from this to this, if that makes any sense. Played along with the recording. The quiet Carmen excerpt, I think that's fine. It seems pretty straightforward. The triangle excerpt, triangle Carmen. For that, I gotta work on keeping the rolls even. I'm playing 6-note rolls. Sometimes they don't sound like rolls because I miss a note or something. Just gotta keep it even and real quiet. Scheherazade triangle. It's like in an okay spot. It's like meh. Movement 2. I just need to get better at going dun da 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 dun da 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 da. But this triangle beater is actually really nice for it because it's quite sparkly sounding. I'm gonna see if I can adjust the weights on this because Dragonfly made that possible, and maybe that'll help me have an easier time balancing it. Movement 4, quite difficult. I gotta work on keeping the rhythmic integrity of movement 4. So today was a pretty good practice day. Did about 4 hours, which is above average. Well, I'm trying to get at least 3 a day. I practice more, but I have to eat dinner, and I'm going to a friend's gig later. This was week 1, day 6, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so right now it's 8:17 p.m. I just spent all day editing this video, so I didn't end up doing any practicing today. Although, technically it kind of counts as practicing if I was listening to myself play. I don't know about that. Okay, let's recap this week. So I'm gonna go through my whole excerpt book here on the list page and just put a number between 1 and 3 for each one. This is to mark how ready I think each excerpt is. 1 would be, I'll play it for you right now. 2 would be, let me practice this for a day or two. 3 would be, I don't know, something worse. 3 would be something worse than 2. Alright, so we've got the full list here. A lot of 3s, huh? A lot of 3s and 2s, not a lot of 1s. This is the other page. Once again, not a lot of 1s. Mostly 2s and 3s. So today is Sunday. I'm taking a lesson on Thursday to go over some of these excerpts. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick one or 2 excerpts from each instrument group, and that's gonna be my focus next week. Snare drum's gonna be Schumann 3 because it has to be. I suck at that. Tambourine is gonna be the Chabrier. Bass drum, definitely Rite of Spring. Oh my god. Triangle, Scheherazade for sure. Both excerpts. Cymbals, this is a hard one because they're all kind of important. I'll definitely spend time on Rachmaninoff 2 every day. But Tchaikovsky 4, I need to find some smaller cymbals to practice that with. For xylophone, I'm going to focus on Les Noces and Exotic Birds. And Schumann 3 if I have time. Glockenspiel is going to be Sorcerer's Apprentice, the waterfall part, and Magic Flute, and Pines of Rome. They're all important. Vibraphone is all of them as well, but not the one from Meeting Scene. The multi-perk stuff, I'm just going to say all of it. Yeah, because it's... but I think I will prioritize the Stravinsky over the Bernstein multi-perk setups. I think overall this was a pretty decent first week. I feel like I have a good grasp of where I'm at, and with 4 weeks remaining, I think I can get these all to a 1 or a 2. The goal is to get better, which is happening. So things are going well. I guess I will see you next week.